Lofton Special Events Center in Austin, Texas. This afternoon, ESPN presents college basketball in magnificent high definition, presented by Phillips. It's an excellent matchup between two excellent conferences this afternoon. The Tennessee Volunteers, who are perfect at 5-0, taking on the number 7 Texas Longhorns from Austin, Texas. 1 week ago today, Texas was ranked number 2 in the nation, and they ran into a buzzsaw in number 1 Duke. J.J. Redick, they simply could not stop him. He hit them from everywhere. The result, Texas loses by 31, the worst loss in the history of Rick Barnes basketball here on the 40 acres. And the bench and the scenes there told the entire story. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Fran Fraschilla. And, Fran, my question to you is, how in the world does Texas rebound from such a shellacking?
Well, Ron, it's exam week here at UT, so they must go to school on those mistakes last Saturday. More efficient offensive quarterbacking from Daniel Gibson. The ball needs to go inside to Aldridge and Tucker. On the other hand, you're going to have to defend a great shooter tonight in Chris Lofton of Tennessee in a way much better than they did against J.J. Redick.
In our Star Watch, a couple of super sophomores for you to take a look at today, Lofton and Aldridge.
Well, Lofton can shoot the ball from anywhere. He's got to get going for Bruce Pearl. But Marcus Aldridge, one of the dominant big men in the country this year for the Longhorns.
And the point guards, well, we got a really good comparison here.
Well, C.J. Watson is a senior. He is a godsend for Bruce Pearl, and Daniel Gibson continues to mature in the role as an outstanding sophomore point guard for Rick Barnes.
Here are the starting lineups for these two clubs as they are about to jump center here. Take a look at that in just a moment as Boudreau is about to put the ball in the air. The referee for this afternoon, Gerald Boudreau, Tom Eads, and Timmy Higgins are the umpires. The tip will go to Lofton, and Tennessee will go on offense first. Wingate outside. Mike Williams getting a start today, and he's out there with him on the run. Nice touch, and he knocks it down.
Major Wingate has really improved as a junior. And a big guy that time takes Aldridge off the dribble.
Lofton comes out in typical Bruce Pearl basketball. They're going to apply some pressure. Even if it's just token pressure, they're going to show it to you every time down. Inside to Aldridge, turnaround jumper. He's got it. Both teams are perfect. 1 for 1 to open the contest today.
Well, we saw LaMarcus Aldridge work on that move yesterday. The brilliant sophomore continues to get better, particularly offensively.
This is Bradshaw, and he has gotten Aldridge way outside working against him. Believe it or not, Bradshaw is playing the number 4 spot. Wingate falling away, not there, rebounded by Williams of Texas.
Ron, when Major Wingate plays away from the basket, there's very little offensive rebounding for the Vols.
You see Gibson pointing for Williams to come out high and set the screen. Paulino not 100% healthy today, and we'll tell you more about that as the telecast and the game go on. Inside to Mike Williams. Jump hook, too hard, rims out, and here comes Tennessee. They'll push it. C.J. Watson, number 32.
Interesting matchup. Dane Bradshaw, former backup point guard, being guarded by LaMarcus Aldridge. Bradshaw playing the power forward spot for this team.
And Bradshaw, I think, maybe a little surprised at the good feet that the 6'10 Aldridge has, as that is a three-pointer. Crowd wanted a backcourt foul because of him reaching in and trying to hold on the pressure. There's Brad Buckman, normally a starter, but the big fella suffered a knee and calf injury. It was an old knee injury, and he also was having some issues with his calf and is not set to go today. Maybe out for a couple of games.
One of the dilemmas Texas has is P.J. Tucker has to play small forward. He usually does his work inside.
5 seconds. Did he get the timeout called? No, he did not. Let's take a look at those starting lineups. Here we go. Watson, Lofton, inside Asumnu, Bradshaw, and Wingate. And for Texas, Gibson, Paulino, Tucker, Aldridge, and Williams.
Interesting, Ron. It's a 4-guard lineup for Tennessee versus a 3-power forward lineup for Texas.
We'll see how long Bruce Pearl continues to go with this lineup and how long Texas will stay big, maybe even go smaller. Running jumper, got it. 7-2, 5-point bulge for the Volunteers, and Paulino has to come up and help. Lofton on him closely.
It's a similar lineage. Rick Barnes and Bruce Pearl, both Tom Davis, Gary Williams disciples. You'll see a little pressure from Tennessee.
Paulino misses the three. Mike Williams with the rebound, and he also pushed off on the foul. Bruce Pearl on the sideline, the new head coach for the Tennessee Volunteers. See his career numbers, almost 80% through 14 seasons. Lofton, the lob pass, almost made the shot, and Tucker came down with the basketball.
Big thing for Texas now is how do they get continuity in their offense with Tucker playing away from the basket.
Aldridge puts it on the floor, and he was fouled by Wingate. Rick Barnes, not sure I've seen him any more disappointed than
Experience in the Meadowlands last week.
So Aldridge with 3 points now, made 1 of 2. Interesting substitution here. Juwan Smith is into the lineup, number 2, a sophomore out of Decatur, Tennessee, and his nickname is the Pest. He is all over everybody. Diving on the floor, that shot right there, unlucky, wouldn't go, and P.J. Tucker comes down with the rebound. Bouncer inside to Aldridge. They get the double team. He lost it out of bounds. Turnover against Texas.
Ron, this is part of the dilemma Rick Barnes has. P.J. Tucker has to play small forward right now because there's not a lot of depth on that wing position. But he hasn't touched the ball in the low post yet because of Williams and Aldridge occupying those spaces inside.
Bradshaw back in the lineup. Asumnu couldn't get it to go. Rebound inside and score, and there's a foul. Patterson will get the hoop and also go to the free throw line. And right now, Tennessee owning the tempo in this ball game.
Well, the former UCLA player transferred to Tennessee, Andre Patterson, comes up with that offensive rebound. Remember, Tennessee is smaller, but that means they can be quicker to the glass, and it's a concern for Texas.
Got it, and that makes it a 10-3 ball game, Tennessee.
There you see a little bit of token pressure as Bruce Pearl fills out this roster. You'll see Tennessee play more up-tempo.
Paulino lost the handle on it for a moment. He pulled a stomach muscle. They didn't know if he was going to be able to go today. But he said he feels better as Gibson misses his shot. Touched last by Tennessee. And let's take a timeout. 15:40 left in this opening half. Texas off to a slow start. They're down 10-3. We'll be right back.
Rick Barnes right now is forced to play the big lineup, and that means you take some people out of position. And when that happens, the continuity in your offense is going to take a little while to get going.
More as yet, but Dion Dowell has been out for a month with a high ankle sprain. He's now been declared healthy and set to go. So Dion, the sophomore out of Texas City, in fact, taking off his warm-up right now. P.J. Tucker. This goes back to what you were saying.
Yep.
He needs a touch.
There you go.
Your point is that documents it right there.
And because he was guarded by a guard, makes it all the better for P.J. inside.
Lofton drives it to the hoop, and he scores it.
Tell you the beautiful thing about that is Chris Lofton has really worked to expand his game and not just be a shooter. So credit the coaching staff at Tennessee for that move. Chris Lofton comes in as one of the great shooters in college basketball. That's not an exaggeration, but you see the little floater there. That will really create some space for him during the season if he can use that dribble.
Bounce from inside to Aldridge, stolen. Bradshaw right there to take it away.
There's that example of a smaller, quicker team sometimes having the advantage of the matchup situation. Bradshaw using his quickness.
Dishes it off, and the easy score by Patterson.
Ron, one thing that Texas did struggle with last week was dribble penetration. You see the pressure out top by Gibson, and that allows Watson to get into the lane, draw a second defender. So dribble penetration can really break down a defense.
P.J. Tucker picks up the foul. Patterson off to a very good start. That's now 4 points for him.
And there's your guy Dion Dowell in the game now. That'll push. That should push P.J. Tucker back inside.
Dowell, as we mentioned, with a high ankle sprain, and it happened in practice. He came down on one of his teammates' foot, turned the ankle. Whistle and a foul is going to be called on Andre Patterson.
Backs for Rick Barnes' program was when C.J. Miles, a top-level recruit, decided to go to the NBA, and he would have fit ideally on the wing with this team.
To note, the winningest player in Cincinnati Moeller history.
Didn't have a bad football program as well at Cincinnati Moeller. You know, he signed at Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and they allowed him to join Bruce Pearl here at Tennessee.
Gibson inside to Aldridge, the quick double team, very unselfishly passed it off to Dowell, but a little too hard, and it's out of bounds and a turnover.
Dowell almost not expecting that look, but a good look by the big guy who's going to get doubled a lot of the night.
Under 15 minutes to play in this opening half, and the crowd trying to get the Longhorns going. Way outside, Jawan Smith. That one had to have been from 23, maybe 24 feet.
A spread offense, baseline flex it's called, but it really fits perfectly
P.J.
with their
Tucker,
style.
excuse me, just picked up his second foul. Daniel Gibson turning around to his team, applauding and screaming, hey, let's get something going here.
See how spread out the Tennessee offense is. That takes advantage of the small lineup and the quickness of their guards.
Again, way outside, Jawan Smith cans another three, and it's a 21-5 ball game, Tennessee.
Smith comes in shooting 37 from the three, so you obviously have to be aware of him.
I think that's going to be, what is it, Childress?
Yep.
Childress called for the hold, his first foul.
And Ron, as good a matchup as Rick Barnes has with LaMarcus Aldridge right now, I'd like to see the Longhorns get P.J. Tucker some touches inside.
5 fouls against the Volunteers. Gibson gets the pass out to Paulino. He'll drive the middle, loses the ball, blocked. Chris Lofton got a hand on it. Powell now into the lineup. Jordan, a sophomore out of Auburn, Alabama. Falling away. Wingate, I'll tell you, Tennessee can't miss.
Well, Major Wingate only averaged about 3 points a game last year. Already an offensive spark.
And Texas turns it over again. 75% is what Tennessee is shooting. And Texas already with 8 turnovers.
The problem right now is the mismatch is in favor of the smaller team.
Tucker tips it back out, but it goes to Tennessee. Asunu unlucky on the shot, drove it all the way underneath, couldn't get it to go. And it's 1 and out, and one of the few times that's happened for Tennessee. Because everything's been going down when you're shooting 75%. P.J. Tucker Paulino for three.
And Ron, that opened up the three because P.J. Tucker drew traffic inside. Paulino with his easiest look of the night.
Wingate lost the handle, put it right at the feet of Howell, and they're lucky he didn't turn it over as he kicked it. Shot clock is under 10. Lofton for three. Sumnu is there, and they're going to call a Texas foul. So let's take a timeout. 23 Tennessee, 8 for the Texas Longhorns. Rick Barnes is getting ratified on the far sideline, but they better come up with something. 16 points have come off turnovers by the Texas Longhorns in the early going here.
Well, those 7 turnovers really a large part due to people playing out of position. But Rick Barnes is stuck with this lineup right now without Brad Buckman healthy.
Gets the ball into Howell. A.J. Abrams has checked into the lineup, a freshman guard out of Round Rock, Texas, which is a suburb of Austin.
And I think Rick Barnes, in order to be successful today, has got to go small, and that's why you see that lineup.
Lofton for three.
You just can't leave him open, Ron. We saw that last week as J.J. Redick scorched Texas for 41.
Well, they're now 80%, 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. That's a pretty good start. Gibson.
Gibson needs to look at P.J. Tucker longer in there before he goes away from him.
Abrams driving the baseline into Gibson, and he'll score.
Gibson and Tucker could have a really nice two-man game on this side of the floor. Let's see if the sophomore exploits that.
And the lead cut down to 16, almost stolen by the Longhorns. Dow. Ron Franklin along with Fran Fraschilla coming to you from the Frank Irwin Special Events Center in Austin, Texas. Number 7 Texas off to a very slow start. Tennessee unbeaten. They come in with a perfect record.
Well, obviously, when you come in 5-0 under a new coach, the confidence level.
Checking him over. It looks as though he might have gotten an elbow or something. Deep in the corner. That's an air ball for the three-point attempt. And it's going to be turnover against Tennessee. That means that a freshman, A.J. Abrams, going to have to grow up in a hurry.
Yes, sir.
Under some real pressure, under fire.
There it is.
P.J. Tucker, the quick turnaround, he missed it. Got exactly what he wanted, and then a foul committed by Texas. It's going to be Dow. His first. 16 fouls against the Longhorns.
Bradshaw doing a nice job of fronting P.J. Tucker inside.
Juwan Smith, boy, he's got a couple of bombs in this game. I mean, so far behind the line, it's hard to believe that, but they were 23, 24 feet, and there is one by Lofton. It's about the same distance.
Ron, when you talk about the great shooters in the country, you can throw out guys like Redick and Nate Jacobson at Northern Iowa, Anthony Winchester at Western Kentucky, but you gotta include Chris Lofton in this mix. Only a sophomore.
Paulino may have injured a groin as he had to stretch out, trying to protect the basketball and lift back up the court. Aldridge has it stolen. That's Lofton. And Tennessee trying to improve on a 19-point lead, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds by Abrams of Texas. It'll stay with Tennessee.
Well,
now they're going to say Texas basketball.
Now Chris Lofton, you must pick him up inside the three-point line, and you see lulling to sleep the defender A.J. Abrams, and he knocks it down an NBA three.
Well, Bradshaw will pick up the foul. Tucker, the follow, couldn't get it. Dow was there. But here comes Tennessee.
And you get an example to see how quickness helps on the backboards for Tennessee.
B.J. Tucker skies for the rebound. Well, I assume the officials thought that was a good no call, but C.J. Watson was all over Tucker as he dribbled the length of the court, causing him to not be able to pass the basketball to a teammate.
You can actually, there's a foul. Watson.
Into the 1-and-1. That's a two-pointer, too hard up the back iron. Dow for the rebound. Texas tried desperately to come up with something offensively, knocked out of bounds by Bradshaw.
And Ron, as hot as Tennessee has been, the woes for Texas really have been more on the offensive end. Don't really have the kind of continuity they want in their offense. This was exposed last week by Duke.
Paulino.
Almost looked Vince
like
Young.
Almost looked like a fade route. Looking for the corner of the end zone. He's going to put that baby up there, I mean.
Well, excellent pressure defense right now.
Abrams, 4-3.
Well, the freshman went 0 for 3 against Sean Dockery last week in 11 minutes, so a confidence builder there.
Lead has been cut to 16. So the second foul on Dow will take a timeout. All Tennessee so far. Austin police say that they are investigating two separate members of the athletic department. Texas AD DeLoss Dodge says there is no need to take action at this time and that the university will cooperate fully. And attorney Ken Oden confirmed to ESPN's Joe Shad that cornerback Cedric Griffin is part of the investigation. 29-13 our score. Tennessee on top. And an interesting note right here. Texas 42% in the first half. Tennessee started out 11 of 21, and since then they are now 2 of 9. But the point is, the Longhorns there's a little sunshine there, but they're not making hay.
Well, I don't know if Tennessee can shoot 80% over the course of the game.
And boy, we look back on the replays. We did not have him isolated at the time, but the next thing, when he came into frame, he was down on the floor. Asumnu, who was from Houston, and we were told it was going to have between 30 and 40 friends and family at this ball game this afternoon. Gets the first one to go down and knocks down the second one as well.
And he's one of those Tennessee Volunteers that have gotten a new life under Bruce Pearl. He fits nicely into this up-tempo system.
Abrams into the middle, and he can't. That's 5 points for him.
Very solid. You want your point guard to exploit the paint, and he's been able to do that.
Bruce Pearl is up, screaming some instructions. Letting a time in the shot clock. Still at 12 and left all alone. C.J. Watson. He cans the easy three.
One of the things Daniel Gibson can learn from the senior Watson is Watson does a nice job of looking for his own offense within the system.
Paulino gave up the dribble, almost lost the basketball. B.J. Tucker will drive it strong to the hoop, and he will miss and then get his own foul.
Well, the more touches P.J. Tucker can get inside of 10 feet, I think the better it will be for the Texas offense.
17-point lead, 34-17. We've just gone under 6.5 minutes to play in his opening half.
You know, Ron, one of the things Texas had an advantage of coming in was depth, but without Buckman and Gibson, that gets neutralized a little bit.
Well, that's for sure. In a hurry. Aldridge defensively, nice job to turn around. Asumnu puts up an air ball, and Texas will get the ball back. Not one, but two Longhorns are down, retied in their shoes after a collision down here. Paulino was down, and 34, Ryan Childress, the freshman out of Cincinnati, comes back into the lineup for the Volunteers. Aldridge out high.
Love to see P.J. Tucker involved here. By Rick Barnes.
Shot clock is now at 10. Five seconds. Boy, it's this one down. So the interesting thing is A.J. Abrams, who was not really going to figure that much in this ballgame, the leading scorer for the Longhorns with 5 points. And very quickly and very easily at the other end, Lofton adds 2 more.
And you see the inexperience of the freshman getting beat on the backdoor cut. A good set play coming off the dead ball on the free throw.
Ninth team foul, second foul on Bradshaw.
Well, this is one of the things that you learn as a freshman, the inexperience on the defensive end. Watch the back cut, excellent recognition by Bradshaw. And the freshman gets burned, but that's the advantage you have when you play 4 guards. Dane Bradshaw, pretty good from that power forward spot at 6'4".
10 points for Lofton to lead the way for the Volunteers. Misses the second one, but rebounded by the Volunteers, Asunu. About to go into 5 minutes in this first half. And Tucker has just picked up his 3rd foul. Now this is a little strange because in the pressure defense of Tennessee, there is constant hand checking. And this, to use a Raftery term, was really a nickel dimer.
Well, Gerald Boudreau's got a lot of Final Four experience. Watch now. You barely can see it. And, you know, I agree with you, Ron.
I don't like to knock the officials, but he hardly had the right hand on his back.
Well, we have a good crew out here, but I thought that time that was cheesy.
Sunu gets the first one. He'll go to the line for 1 more.
More importantly, 3 fouls.
Yeah,
is more detrimental to Rick Barnes' team right now.
That one was not pretty. It almost didn't draw iron. Abrams out in the wing to Tucker. Tucker stayed with him, and he got it.
Ron, I think P.J. Tucker has got to be the focal point of this offense and not LaMarcus Aldridge right now.
Three-pointer on the way, wouldn't go, in a battle inside. Mike Williams picked up the foul.
Well, when you're smaller, you may think that you have the disadvantage on the backboard, but oftentimes your team's quickness to the offensive boards is actually more of a help than great size. And I really believe P.J. Tucker's got to have the ball. I'd like to see LaMarcus Aldridge be the backside rebounder and clean up the Tucker misses, as opposed to Aldridge having the ball in the post.
Paulino has it blocked, knocked out of bounds. Bruce Pearl up and working his team. And that play happened right in front of the student section, so as you can imagine, big reaction. That outlet pass saved by Tucker. Paulino for 3. Nope. And C.J. Watson gathers in the rebound.
You can see the confidence level of Tennessee. Texas goes zone for the first time today, trying to change the tempo up, but you must know where the shooters are. And right now, Chris Lofton not in the game.
This is Watson.
Only threat, Ron, is Watson.
Wingate. Bradshaw, no, not 15. Howe. Jordan Howe cans the 3. Jordan committed to Georgia, was going there, and then the shake-up with the coaching staff, with Coach Herrick, and he was allowed out, and then decided he was going to go to Tennessee. Aldridge, he has not had very many touches.
No.
The very first time down, he got one free throw, and that's now a total of got Aldridge with 5 points.
And that's the first time today they've gone high-low over the top to Aldridge, the easiest look of the day. By the way, Howell just doubled his scoring average with that three.
I was asking how he got away from Auburn because both his dad and his brother played at Auburn. So the crowd not understanding how this one's going, but it's all Tennessee. That is how it's going.
What do you make of it?
Tennessee's spreading them out. They've done a nice job of running that spread flex, and they're getting things wide. That's why they were able to go backdoor Chris Lofton. Clearly, that loss to Duke still weighing on the minds of Texas.
Apparently. Let's head back down to the Irwin Center. We join Ron Franklin, Fred Michelle, guys.
All righty, 3 minutes and 8 seconds is what we have left. 42-24 French game, and that obviously is in jeopardy this afternoon.
Well, without Buckman and Gibson, we're going to see a little bit of intestinal fortitude on the part of the Longhorns.
Tucker missed the shot, got the follow, and is going to be called for travel.
Well, when you fall down and you lift your pivot foot, that's the correct call, but good effort by P.J. Tucker to attack the glass.
Number 4, J.D. Lewis will come into the lineup. 9 turnovers against Texas, only 1 against the Volunteers.
And that 7 of 14 shooting from 3 really stands out as well, Ron.
Lofton. And J.D. Lewis, who we just mentioned, into the lineup. Got the long carry.
Well, he can really shoot it. Junior college transfer from Midland.
Abrams at the lane, cut off. That ball tipped in the air. Williams will hit it last and knock it out of bounds. Tennessee basketball. 10 turnovers, Longhorns.
And that's a great point, Ron. It hasn't been just the efficient Tennessee offense, but solid team defense. You can be a pressure team and not necessarily be a full court pressure team. We've seen Tennessee really jump into the ball today.
Tennessee, everybody they brought has scored. I mean, everybody that's on the box scored. Contribution by the team. Being led by Lofton, who the only guy in double figures. He's got 10. That one too hard off the glass. Wingate right there on the follow. No basket. The foul was on the floor before. Well, college hoops action on ESPN.
Against these Longhorns. How about this? They're averaging 34 and 17 assists. Pretty good backcourt.
I'm telling you, you know how good they can be. And that's the opener in the conference
That's
for
right.
both teams.
Yep.
1:49 left to play until halftime. Got this one, and it pushes it back to a 20-point Tennessee lead.
Well, token pressure just enough to bother Texas, and even the token pressure has been an impediment today to the Longhorns.
Well, the interesting thing about the Southeastern Conference, and it's surprising to me, but with Coach Richardson at Arkansas and Pitino at Kentucky, boy, total, I mean, they were up and down the floor.
Yes, sir.
SEC's become a half-court offensive league.
And you know, you're right, and that's why this style, when Bruce Pearl gets a complement of guys, and certainly they've played well today, but when he gets this cranked up with some recruiting, that full-court pressure will be a little bit different than most people see in the league. That's a great point.
Abrams misses the first. He's got a half a dozen in the ball game.
Well, the one thing we've seen in this first half is the great buy-in factor on the part of the Tennessee players in their first road game under Bruce Pearl.
Got that one now with 7. Texas is 5 of 8 from the free throw line. Jordan Howell back in the lineup. Crowd wanted a carry. Wingate strong to the hoop, and he'll score.
Well, Smith with the excellent dribble penetration again. Anytime you can get into the lane, you open up those kind of easy opportunities.
Lewis picked up the dribble, got it into Aldridge. Aldridge has only taken 2 shots. One the very first play when Texas got the basketball, and in just a very short time ago. So Aldridge with 5 in the afternoon. 45 seconds left until intermission. Wow. Childress.
This offense, as Jay Billis said when we went to break, really spreads you out.
And Wingate over the back. I was talking about the individual scoring by Tennessee. Listen to this. Wingate now with 8, 6 for Smith, Asumnu with 3, 10 for Lofton, 3 for Howell, Patterson with 6, 3 for Bradshaw, 5 for Watson, and Childress with 4.
You know, it's
everybody who came on the bus.
And what absolutely, you know, what's most impressive about all those guys scoring, Ron, is the fact that Bruce Pearl is playing everybody. And here you see Asumnu. He's a guard, but watch him now as Aldridge turns his back. Great look and feed inside to Childress. And this offense puts all 5 players in different spots of the floor. Becomes very difficult to guard a small guy inside. Good example right there. And this is a one-shot opportunity, Ron.
Lofton couldn't handle it. Touched last by J.D. Lewis, so it'll be with the Volunteers, and they have 19.5 seconds left. Aldridge way outside, working against Childress. Smith, nope, not there. The battle for it. Caught by Texas, and that one in the half. Paulino got in front, and as they head to the locker room, Rick Barnes cannot be real happy. The last 2 halves outscored by opponents 100-61. We're at halftime with the score at Tennessee 48 and Texas 28. Now let's send it to Dave Revson with the UPS halftime report.
Thank you, Ron. Here with Jay Billis as well. And Jay, you saw those numbers coming off for Rick Barnes' team. And yeah, look, we talked last week. Maybe this is aberrational. What happened against Duke, just had a bad day. But, this is 2 successive bad days now. What's going on?
Well, it's discouraging. I think one might have led to the other. Remember, they don't have Brad Buckman, but neither does Tennessee. I mean, they don't have Brad Buckman either. And they put up 48 points in the first half. And I thought the spread offense that Tennessee ran, getting the ball up the court quickly and keeping that Texas defense spread. Texas likes to get right into you, and spreading them out has really helped. You look how far beyond the 3-point line they are. That sets up penetration, and everybody sucked into the lane. And that leaves a great shooter, Chris Lofton, wide open. And when it's that spread, oftentimes you can get backdoor cuts. That's the little flex we're talking about wide, and didn't do a good job. Here's the backdoor cut by Chris Lofton. Once your defensive man gets on the top side of you, just take him backdoor and run the cut all the way through. And if there's not enough pressure on the ball, you're going to be able to complete that pass. And Texas has to be really discouraged with the way they played in the first half. Not just on the defensive end. Offensively, they didn't do a good job of running their stuff and getting the ball inside, trying to get easy scores. One of the ways you stop a big run, you got to score when you get the ball, and Texas didn't do that.
Yeah, as Ron talked about, really balanced scoring for Tennessee, a team that had 5 players averaging double figures coming in, and Bruce Pearl's team certainly very impressive in the first half. Some other news for you.
28. Let's go back to the first half at a very scary situation involving Texas Daniel Gibson. Now, we have him highlighted. Now, watching the report that we've been given, and he will not participate in the second half of the ballgame. If you're Rick Barnes, what do you do?
Well, your first concern is for your player, and then you tell the rest of the team, let's make this a fun comeback, 1 possession at a time. Let's get the crowd in the game. For Bruce Pearl, let's stay aggressive and play as unselfish as we did in the first half.
So if we get any updates on the young man, we will give them to you. But he is out of the contest for the second half. Abrams will pick up the foul. First half stats, the big part of the story, turnovers. 10 against the Longhorns, only 1 against Tennessee. And one number that's not up there, add 7 assists to go with only 1 turnover.
That's right. You see those 18 points off of turnovers, which comes when you play that pressure defense. And there's another back cut.
Watson picks up 2 more.
Ron, one of the fun things is to watch when a new coach in a program that has lost gets his players to buy in. In over 21 minutes so far, the Vols have certainly done that for Bruce Pearl.
And I can tell you right now, I'm sure it was mentioned at halftime, but they're always looking for goals with new coaching staff as turnover number 12, and Watson will take it in and score. Tennessee has not beaten a ranked team on the road in 5 years.
Yep, well, they've got the opportunity today.
So let's take a timeout. 19:11 left in our ball game. 52-28 Tennessee.
Tennessee shocking Texas by 24. Tennessee with a 4-guard offense, and watch how they keep the floor spread in order to take advantage of the passing ability of their guards. And of course, these guys are buying into Bruce Pearl's system, and so far, Ron, have been flawless in their execution on the offensive end.
You talked about the 18 points in the first half off turnovers. Well, add 4 more to it because the first 2 second half possessions for the Longhorns, 2 turnovers, 4 points. 22 on the afternoon off turnover.
Again, you see that token, not much pressure, but just enough to keep Texas off balance and out of its half-court offense.
Lewis. Aldridge got it.
Well, Lewis again with dribble penetration. He breaks down the Tennessee defense. An easy basket for Aldridge.
Blocked by Aldridge. On the floor, they battle for it, and Aldridge will win the scrum, and then he gets covered up. So it's Tennessee 52 and Texas 30. We still got 18:43 left to play in this one. A.J. Abrams, the freshman out of Round Rock, Texas, bringing the ball up. Inside to Aldridge. Trying to push that one up there. The battle inside and the follow. P.J. Tucker with good work.
I like that possession. They spread Tennessee out, dribbled into the lane, kicked it to Aldridge, and P.J. Tucker cleaned up the miss. You're Tennessee, Ron. You don't want to be complacent now with the big lead. You must stay aggressive.
Reversing on the jumper and could not get it to go. Aldridge will come down to the rebound. Lewis almost didn't turn around in time.
Every possession now for Texas must be efficient.
Lewis for 3. Battle inside the follow. Couldn't get it, and Aldridge will jam it home.
That time, no block out. Aldridge, I think, is as good cleaning up the misses as he is when you post it to him.
Aldridge now in double figures.
Ron, you remember the West Virginia game when he put back that big basket with 5 seconds to go.
Exactly. To win that one. Jumper not there. Tucker rebounds. Tucker strong to the hoop and will score again. 16-point ball game.
First signs of life today for the Longhorns. And it's a small lineup for Texas with 3 guards first time today.
Wingate against Aldridge, backs his way in, muscles his way up, and a foul is called.
You watch, pretty good defense. Major Wingate right here did a nice job of initiating the contact. You see Pete.
Wingate, very high arcing free throw, knocks it down. Wingate now with 9 points, trying to go into double figures. Biggest thing right now is just to cut some of the momentum on the part of Texas. gets the second one as well.
Well, in these situations, you tell your team, we can't get it all back at once. Let's see if we could get it to about 10 with 10 to go. But, Ron, they have to be efficient each time down. No turnovers.
Abrams looking against Jordan Howell. Four fouls on Tucker.
Well, here's the thing here. P.J. Tucker was almost too aggressive right here. Too anxious to get to the rim. He needed to take his time. And whether Asunu flopped or not, P.J. Tucker rushed that move, and Rick Barnes is going to keep him in, Ron.
He doesn't have many bodies left on that bench with the injury to Gibson. Him not available for the entire second half. And with Buckman already on the bench with a leg injury. About to go into 16 minutes to play. Aldridge with a steal.
One thing I do right now is I go right back to P.J. Tucker because he'll get the next call.
Saved by Tennessee. And off in the fast break. Patterson, I beg your pardon, and he was fouled, and he'll go to the line. So let's take a timeout. 15:53 left in our ball game. 54-36 Tennessee. Well, maybe it's one of those Saturdays where the higher-ranked teams are having a tough time. Certainly the situation here in Austin. A quick burst of energy on the part of the Longhorns. As you look at Daniel Gibson, if you just joined us, suffered a concussion in the first half. Brad Buckman injured a leg last week against Duke. So two key starters unavailable for action in this ball game. And it has been huge. As a result, Texas with turnovers that have just been the killer for them, because when you look at rebounds, Tennessee only has 11 for the ball game. They're shooting a lesser percentage than Texas, but they have gotten so many freebies.
Well, and one of the reasons they only have 11 rebounds is you can't rebound a turnover, and Texas has 14 of those.
That's right. About to go under 15 minutes to play in this one. Kenton Paulino.
Texas now spreading out. Tennessee defense looking to dribble, get into the lane.
First time that they have gone on the road. They have left the state of Tennessee this entire season. And he passed the ball right onto the foot of Tucker, and it went right out of bounds.
Well, another turnover by the freshman Abrams. This is a learning process. He struggled against Duke. Rick Barnes, Ron, over the course of the Big 12 season will need these complementary players to step up.
Ron Smith. Good fake, got it back out on the wing, and the three-pointer. Chris Lofton, the sophomore. They say he's the best shooter in the SEC, and after what I've seen this afternoon, I certainly wouldn't argue with anybody. Abrams, three-pointer, got it.
Well, he got that back, and now Texas must tighten up their defense. 10 points for the freshman, but this offense has given them trouble as they spread out the Longhorns.
Shot won't go. The battle inside. Got his own follow. Great hustle inside. Another block inside. And the three-pointer by Lofton.
What a great play by Tennessee. They kept that offensive rebound alive.
Bradshaw just wouldn't give up, would he?
Yep. Not bad for a former backup point guard averaging 8 rebounds a game.
Wants to play it inside. You're right. He played guard in high school. Paulino back to Abrams. 4-3. Nuke. C.J. Watson comes away with it. And here come the Volunteers. All the way to the hoop, and they'll score the easy two.
Well, this is an experienced Tennessee backcourt led by C.J. Watson, the freshman. And that time the Orange Sea parted as he got all the way to the rim.
25-point ball game. Texas got it down to, what, 16 just a few moments ago. But Tennessee has come right back. Tucker, quick pass inside. And the foul is going to be on Patterson.
And Ron, Tennessee is not getting these open looks for Lofton on purpose. Watch the closeout, the dribble penetration, and then the help comes. Lofton gets the look, and then a great way to get an open three is off an offensive rebound. Great dish right there, and Lofton knocks it down.
P.J. Tucker playing with 4 fouls. Has to be careful. Turnaround jumper. Barely drew iron on that one and rebounded by Asumnu.
Well, you saw how tender he went up that time with the 4 fouls. Impressive thing about Tennessee is they haven't sat on this lead. They've run their offense.
Patterson almost threw that thing away. Good job by Watson to maintain his balance and keep it in the front court. Wingate against Aldridge. No, Tucker rebounds. Tucker gonna blow by him, and he's fouled on the way to the hoop. Wingate will pick up the foul. Tucker in and out, won't go. They battle for it. Tucker gets his own follow and scores. Bounced around for a bit, and Tucker wound up with it. Turnover, Tennessee.
Well, Texas taking advantage of that size advantage for one of the few times today on the free throw.
Bruce Pearl up and coaching the youngsters who are on the bench following that turnover, something they simply haven't done very much of today at all. They only have 3. 1 in the first half, 2 here in the second half. Paulino looking inside, and it's going to be stolen as Asumnu saw the telegraphed pass and just stepped in front of him. And Asumnu loses the basketball. Aldridge will come away with it. A foul against Wingate, I believe. Fourth personal foul on Wingate. Turnovers. Tennessee has forced 16 for 27 points. Texas has forced 4 for 1.
We talked about that run at the beginning of the second half for Texas because of efficient offense, but still too many turnovers, which has enabled Tennessee to keep this lead at +20.
One of the things that happens on the Tennessee bench is Tony Jones, the associate head coach, literally sits there with a chart and keeps times on youngsters as the ball is knocked out of bounds by Tennessee. They want to cut down playing minutes for some people who they think has been playing too much, and they literally keep the time to make sure that certain guys like Bradshaw, Wingate, C.J. Watson, that they cut down their playing minutes to make them more efficient.
Yep, and that's something Bruce Pearl learned from Dr. Tom Davis, his mentor, Boston College in Iowa.
Paulino picked up the dribble. And a 3-second violation called against Texas. So we'll take a timeout. 64-42 with just under 12 minutes to play.
This telecast is available on ESPN HD.
So we are back 64-42, and in case you joined us late, a couple of regulars on the bench. Brad Buckman to the right, injured a leg against Duke last week. Going to be out for maybe another game. And to the left, Daniel Gibson, the starting guard out of Houston Jones High School All-American, has a concussion and unavailable for the rest of the ball game. That was Smith, who knocked down his 3rd three-pointer of the ball game.
And that was an example of a pressing team with a good press offense. That ball stayed off the floor. Smith knocked it down.
Tucker, strong to the hoop, gets his own rebound, and he'll score it. I'll tell you what, Tucker is really putting up the battle to be playing with 4 fouls.
Yep. And he's doing all his damage in the lane.
Turnover at Tennessee. Jordan Howell knows full well. Still with 11 minutes and 19 seconds to play. that stranger things have happened for a home team, just like Abrams getting the 3 right there. You can really close ground in a hurry. All of a sudden, it's a 20-point game.
Yep. Well, the psychological barrier is that 20 points. Once it gets in under 20, then as a coach with a big lead, you start to worry a little bit. Tennessee spreads you out with these 4 guards. Their center right now is a small forward, Andre Patterson.
So A.J. Abrams, 3rd personal foul on him.
So far early in the season, Ron, more and more teams are having success playing small.
Stolen by Aldridge. 5 team fouls against Texas, 4 against Tennessee here in the second half. Paulino. Couple of opportunities to bring it under 20, and coming up with the same old Achilles heel that they have had all day, and that is the turnover. 3-pointer on the way, not there. Battle for it. Tennessee comes away with it. Lofton, now he's going to drive it to the hoop and score.
That was set up because of the first jump shot by Smith. Texas was caught in the air on the shot fake, and that really exposed the Texas defense.
Paulino stands and throws it away.
Bruce Pearl and his staff have really worked hard with Chris Lofton to expand his game. You see the shot fake, just that little hesitation allowed him to create space.
So an offensive foul is going to be called on the play on Patterson. 4th foul on Andre, senior out of Los Angeles. Plays with a lot of energy. Right now is going to have to sit with a lot of energy with that 4th foul. As Bruce Pearl says, we're going to give you a breather. Ryan Childress will come into the lineup.
Tennessee still pressing, just making it difficult for Texas to get it over and into their offense quickly. Sometimes, Ron, you press to slow a game down.
You're getting a breather for Aldridge, who has played every minute of the contest. Tucker got his own follow, and he'll score.
Tucker has taken advantage of the ball in the lane here in the second half.
Smith over in the corner, 3-pointer, got it, Chris Lofton.
Here's the problem for Rick Barnes. If you press, you expose the whole floor, and that opens up the drive and the kick out for a great shooter, Lofton.
About to go under 9 minutes to play. And that foul is going to go against Juwan Smith, his first.
Well, Tennessee does a nice job of keeping the ball off the floor, and now you see the kick out. Great spacing. Lofton knows exactly where to go to get away from the defense. And that's the aggressiveness I talked about. Bruce Pearl has not slowed it down in terms of the offense. They are getting up the floor and still looking for their shots.
Tucker gets point number 18. He's got a double-double. 10 rebounds to go with the 18 points. And he's playing with 4 fouls. But because his head coach needs him and his ability on the floor, he sits, just don't pick up the 5th. As you look on the bench at Daniel Gibson, who suffered a concussion and is unavailable for the rest of the ball game. Bradshaw, the long carrot. Oh boy. Watson back to Lofton. No, not there. And Ashley, who got pushed by Childress, got the rebound. Abrams going to call an offensive foul.
Well, Time and time again today, Tennessee's quickness and lack of size, it's allowed them to get into position. And sometimes that was close, Ron, but what happens is sometimes the call goes to the team that hustles more, and that time Bradshaw with another one of those hustle plays.
And Lofton with the foul. So that's 4 fouls on him. 18 fouls Volunteers, 7 against the Longhorns.
Texas score.
8.5 minutes to play. 72-50, 22-point Volunteer lead.
You see what happens when you have a small team. Easy switching opportunities now on the perimeter.
Tonight, 2 college basketball games from the Las Vegas Showdown. So Paulino makes it a 21-point ball game. As we mentioned, Texas got it down to 16 in the second half, and then Tennessee just came right back with several answers to push it back out.
Remember, they came off of Texas turnovers.
Bradshaw, and now it would appear that Tennessee's going to try to run a little punt.
Right. They got the type of offense now that they can spread you out and basically take what they want to take.
Aldridge got his 1-minute breather. He is back at the scorer's table, preparing to check back in.
Again,
Asungnu.
oftentimes backdoor cuts happen because of no pressure on the basketball. Childress had an easy look. Childress looking like Peyton Manning here.
So let's take a timeout. 74-52 Volunteers as you take a look at the back door by Tennessee. Beautifully done. And we're back. Tennessee 74, Texas 52. You know, if Bruce Pearl came to Knoxville looking for a role model, he didn't have to look far for women's head coach Pat Summitt.
I don't know what she was like 31 years ago when she started coaching basketball. She's obviously won some championships since then. I don't think she's any different. Success hasn't changed her. She is hungry, she is motivated, she is humble, she's kind, and she truly wants to help Tennessee in any way possible. So I've enjoyed I felt like I've known her my whole life. And if nothing else good happens to me about being Tennessee, the fact that I know Pat Summitt is all right.
Bruce Pearl, give you an interesting number.
Yeah.
Since Pat Summitt became the head coach at Tennessee, he is the 8th men's coach that they have had. Now,
That's a lot. Yep, going back to Ray Mears, right?
yes.
Well, I think Pat Summitt would be pretty proud of her protege today. This has been a clinic, both offensively and defensively today.
Connor Atsley, the freshman, misses the first. Give Bruce Pearl credit for one thing. The first thing he did when he came to Tennessee is Atsley gets the second. He looked up Ray Mears, who still comes to ball games, and he wanted to know about what it would take to have success at Tennessee.
We mentioned at the top, he's not only an excellent coach, excellent recruiter, but he's got a marketing game plan as well. And hey, you and I got a couple T-shirts today.
I looked up and he said, here's something from Tennessee. I thought, wow, this guy doesn't miss a lick. About to go under 7 minutes left in the ball game. Shot clock is at 3, down to 2. I don't think he doesn't see it. Got it away, but the horn had sounded. No, whoa. They're going to count it.
I think he released it, Ron, while the ball was in the air, but another example today of things going right for Tennessee. Took time off the clock and still got a good look.
Paulino for 3. He got that. Yes, it falls under that category of some days the magic works and some days it doesn't.
Yep.
So Watson looks back, gives it to Bradshaw, 6.5 to play, 77-56. Sumu lost the handle going up.
Well, as long as he releases that ball before the horn. That was really close.
He got it off,
He
though.
got it
He
off.
sure did.
Yeah, but it was really close.
Sumu backs up to get the pass right inside to Bradshaw.
I don't know what they can review here. I don't know what, unless Tim. Shot clock, Ron.
So they gave him a new shot clock by accident. So it's now 15 seconds. Bradshaw for three. Bradshaw takes it away. The bouncer inside and scored for Wingate.
How many times today have we seen long rebounds recovered by the smaller, quicker team?
Aldridge was fouled, and he'll go to the line. College hoops action on ESPN continues this afternoon at 4 o'clock, all the way around the cylinder, and then came on. We mentioned to you earlier that Tennessee had everybody who came on the trip has scored. Aldridge gets the second. That gives him a total of 13. And a timeout called by Tennessee. So you might be asking, what is the worst loss of the Rick Barnes era at home? And it would be to Oklahoma in 2001, 75-54. That's the worst.
Well, coming off the loss to Duke, it's a daily double that Rick Barnes won't be happy about.
Well, they started the ball game with Buckman on the bench, which meant they had to play at least 2, if not 3 people out of position. Then the injury to Daniel Gibson, and by that time the wheels had already come off because of points off turnover by Tennessee, and we certainly don't want to take anything away from what is going to be a huge Tennessee win here today, and they will continue to be undefeated because they have played some really good basketball. Very well coached.
Well, when we see the Longhorns at full strength, Rick Barnes still has to deal with where does he play P.J. Tucker, because he has done most of his damage inside tonight. You see Ron Aldridge having to guard basically a point guard in Bradshaw.
About to hit 5.5 minutes left in the ball game. Shot clock is under 10. Watson, Aldridge winds up out there on him on the switch. Bradshaw misses and is tipped around and going to be saved by Tennessee. Good hustle by Juwan Smith.
Another example of when you shoot long shots, those balls will come off long, and the advantage goes to the smaller team.
Tennessee's been averaging 86 points a ball game. And I'll tell you, they're on track right now to equal that margin, which is hard to believe against a Texas team in this house. Watson pulls up that ball blocked by Aldridge. Ashley comes away with it and gets it out to Abrams. Paulino for 3.
Well, the dilemma for Texas now is the clock does become Tennessee's friend inside of 5 minutes. And you have 2 experienced guards.
Smith blocked by Ashley. Connor Ashley, the freshman, getting some playing time. Paulino for 3. Not there, and he'll get the long carry. Paulino for 3. Nope. Aldridge comes up with the follow. He was fouled on the floor before the shot.
Ron, probably the second or third time today there's been a foul called when Texas has had a clear path to the basket, but the foul came before the shot.
Ryan Childress will foul out of the ball game. Patterson will come back in, number 22.
It's probably a little too late for Texas to take advantage, but now Patterson with 4, and Bruce Pearl's other 2 big guys, Wingate and Childress, already fouled out.
I can tell you, Tennessee also has some tired players out there. Bradshaw really grabbing at his shorts. He's winded. That is the speed which he plays.
You read the clips about Bradshaw. He just wanted to come in and contribute as the backup point guard this year, and he's starting at the power forward.
Aldridge now with 14 points. You see 14 points, 4 or 5 from the field, 8 rebounds. The problem there, you look at those middle numbers. He needs to touch the ball way more than 5 times. He needs to touch it more than that in a half.
Yes, he does. Yep. There's one more stretch Texas can make a run, but it's got to happen in the next minute and a half. The difficulty is Tennessee has been very good at turning over their offense.
Bradshaw looks up at the shot clock, still plenty of time, and Bruce Pearl wants to call a timeout. Well, the last 4 coaches at Tennessee, Buzz Peterson, who was fired this past year, then Jerry Green before him, Kevin O'Neill, and Wade Houston.
You know, I knew Bruce Pearl when he was an assistant at Iowa, and I was at Ohio State. He didn't just fall off a turnip truck here in the last couple of years. He went underground to Southern Indiana and took Southern Indiana to the NCAA tournament time and time again, including a national championship. Then he got his opportunity at the Division I level, took Milwaukee to the Sweet 16, and he comes here with a lot of experience and what we've seen so far around a lot of passion, energy, and charisma.
Well, as I was told before the ball game that he had traveled from one end of the state to the other. That was the first order of business after he got the job, just to visit with people. Watson on the way to the hoop. He was fouled, but they're going to call offensive foul, Tennessee. So let's take a timeout. 3:31 left. 79-62 Volunteers. Okay, 3:31 left in our ball game, and here's a game track. You look at the scores, 79-62, shooting percentages exactly alike, but look at the points off turnover. Wow.
And one more turnover right there, right out of a timeout.
Well, Texas had, what, 10 in the first half, and they opened the second half. It was almost like an omen. The first 2 possessions, turnovers, 4 more points.
And then they had that little mini run when they cut it to 16, and then guess what? A few more turnovers.
That's right.
You know, if I was thinking, if Chris Lofton was thinking about leaving Tennessee after his freshman year, what a mistake that would have been. This style is absolutely perfect for him. We heard about what kind of shooter he was, Ron, coming in, and we've seen that today.
Tucker comes down with the rebound out of the wing to Abram. He'll put up a long 3, and he gets it.
Well, the freshman has given Rick Barnes,
wide receiver in high school. They retired his jersey at his high school, so a great athlete in all sports.
You know, if there's such a thing in basketball as a spread offense, this would be it, the way Tennessee plays. And Bruce Pearl utilizes his athleticism perfectly in this system.
Let's take a look at Lofton in this package right here in the 21 points that he scored.
Well, he comes in shooting 45% from 3, but his ability to expand his game and get to the lane really opens up the perimeter game for him even more. And then he utilizes this offense, which has taken advantage today of very crisp passing.
3:15 left. 79-65. Lofton. Timmy Higgins said he didn't see it. Tom Eads says it was off Tennessee.
Good officiating. Tim Higgins was screened out by the play. And that middle official had a great angle. Tom Eads. This is the last gasp right here, Ron. If Texas can get a basket and set up a press.
Three-pointer, not there. Long carom. Abrams with the follow. Got it. Got it. And a timeout called by Texas. It is down to 11 points.
That's the last timeout for Texas. Watson, Lofton all shoot over 80%. Texas has got a trap and foul.
Trapped it. Ball is tied, and the possession error says it'll go to Tennessee.
Now, after a dead ball, Bradshaw cannot run the baseline.
And Aldridge, as you can see, is on him at the baseline. Got the pass away, and they're going to call a blocking foul on Dow.
That was close because Dow has got to give the ball handler room to maneuver. One step is usually what you need.
He was not set.
He was not set.
Yep. Timmy Higgins called that foul. Very close, but a good call.
He is a 25% shooter on the season. Now down to 20, Ron.
Aldridge with the rebound. Texas looks up. They got about 2.5 minutes left in this one.
Don't have to shoot the three if they can drive it.
Abrams not there. Rebounded Tennessee. Beyond the pass, it's 3 against none. And the jam home, and that'll about do it by Patterson. Lewis takes it the distance. He was fouled.
Yeah, it looked to me that there were 2 calls, but Tom Eads took control, called the charge. That quick 3 by Abrams came very closely defended, and that's where you want to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim.
Paulino, the foul. So Lofton will go to the bench, and checking back into the lineup is Asumnu. So Lofton is going to leave the game, it would appear, with 21 points will be his number.
Ron, remember, he's got 4 fouls, so if they get the ball back, you may see him back.
Yeah. About to go under 2 minutes left. 83-68. Tennessee. Abrams takes it the distance, not there. On the follow, the ball tipped away. Tucker battles for it down on the floor, and Tennessee saves it.
How many times has Bradshaw come up with a loose ball today?
Inside for the jam home with Stanley Asumnu. And a little surprised he didn't just take it out and run the clock on that.
So what you tell your team there, only a layup, and that time they did get the layup.
Lewis with the foul.
This is a confidence builder, Ron, for Bruce Pearl coming in 5-0. They hadn't left the state of Tennessee.
First time that they've won on the road, excuse me, since 5 years ago. They defeated Syracuse 83-70, and at that time, Syracuse was 12th ranked. Texas, of course, today 7th ranked. And the 4th ranked Louisville Cardinals having their problems today with the Wildcats of Kentucky. So 2 members of the top 10 about to go down.
Louisville's played a very soft schedule. Nobody really knew how good they were. But that's also one of those rivalry games.
You talk about rivalry. Now that is a rivalry game.
And that's a game Tubby Smith and his team backs to the wall, so they've responded.
Arizona, Utah is underway, and you can see a score in the box. the corner of your screen. Too early. Obviously, we'll get you out there very quickly when this one is done. Minute and a half left as Lewis knocks down a very long three-pointer. And Dow will come into the lineup. And also checking in for Texas is Craig Winder, a junior. Lofton got hit in the eye by Aldridge, who was trying to put out his arm to play against Bradshaw inside. Talk about unlucky. Wrong place at the wrong time.
And C.J. Watson just got mugged by Winder.
Two shots, gentlemen. Let's go. Let's go. Hustle up if you want it.
So 87 to 71, the count right now. Watson gets it to go down.
There's no better feeling for a first-year coach at a school than have a performance like this, because the confidence level of your team and you grows exponentially. Be interesting to see how this carries forward. We'll see Tennessee up in Oklahoma City next week. That's Oklahoma State.
About to be 6-0 in the upcoming schedule. Oklahoma State on the road on the 22nd. Then Alabama A&M, Lipscomb, South Alabama. A lot of wins in that picture right there. As Jody Conrad and Pat Head Summit.
Yeah, I heard
shaking hands after the ball game.
Yeah, I heard Pat Head Summit speak at a clinic this summer, Ron. I have no doubt she could coach, any sport she wanted, particularly men's basketball. She's an outstanding coach.
Tucker rattles it down. Tucker now with 20 points. With a foul in the backcourt with 43.9 seconds remaining. I thought it was interesting what Bruce Pearl said about her. It doesn't matter how much she's won, that she's still so driven. I mean, she's into it.
Yes,
now.
she is. I was just thinking, if you were a player, you would love to play for her.
Tucker fouls out, 20 points, 11 rebounds, and he played a majority of the second half with 4 fouls. Watson now with 16.
Both of these schools have outstanding recruiting classes coming in next year. The beat continues here at Texas with Kevin Durant and Matt Hill from Lincoln, Nebraska. They'll be helping this program.
Ball blocked by Patterson. And now they're just going to hold it and watch that clock run down. Shot clock is off. And we're down to 20 seconds. So it's not going to wind up as the worst loss in the Rick Barnes era, but it is certainly a loss that 95-78 I'm not sure is indicative of how badly Texas was beaten here today, as Tennessee dominated, particularly with the turnovers and points off turnover. And this one is final. Final score, Tennessee 95 and Texas 78. Arizona, Utah up next. Watch our postgame extra on ESPN News. Fran Frischel and our entire crew. I'm Ron Franklin. Now let's send it to Salt Lake and Brad Nessler. Brad?
All right, Ron, thank you. We're 5 minutes in here at the John Huntsman